Nestor Cortez.
Hadn't pitched in a month. I wonder why.
Well, welcome in, and I'll tell you this much. We probably didn't see the result we wanted, but what we did get was a classic. We are talking about Game 1 of the World Series right now in 30 seconds. Don't go anywhere. Ski and welcome in to another edition of the PHNX D-Backs podcast right here on PHNX. My name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as your mayor of PHNX. And no, that is not Jesse Friedman next to me. I know It's hard to believe. It's the one and only Rock Knowledge, one of my best friends in the whole world.
Yes.
Staunch hater of everything, but mostly of these two baseball teams. And of course, welcome in to the PHNX D-Backs podcast, brought to you by our friends at Bet365. Go download the Bet365 app, choose your offer, use that code of PHNX365 when you sign up, and find out why. It is never ordinary over at Bet365. Rock, thanks for joining me. I appreciate you taking the time to talk about two teams that you very much hate. And like a lot of people in our chat, we definitely didn't get the desired result, which is both teams losing, but we did get a pretty damn good baseball game.
I mean, look, if you're a baseball fan, this is what you want from the World Series. You want games that come down to the last pitch, the last out. Me personally, this outcome was terrible. But you know what? This is only game one. Hopefully the Yankees, and I feel weird saying that. Hopefully the Yankees bounce back.
That's gross. That's not gonna. That's never gonna feel good. But the Dodgers do win this game in extra innings. They take it in the bottom of the 10th in a walk-off grand slam hit by Freddie Freeman. The last time a game one went to extra innings, Rock, last year between the D-Backs and the Rangers, and then the year before that between the Phillies and the Astros. So it's actually a very common thing lately, but first time in Major League Baseball history that we've had 3 consecutive years of the first game of the winter of the Fall Classic here going to, extra innings like this. And this one, man, this was as advertised. Like you said, there's times where you watch a fight, where you watch a UFC fight or a boxing match and you don't like either guy, but the match is big enough and the stakes are big enough, and this one delivered. I mean, it was a pitching duel for the majority of the matchup, and then you had just some incredible, I guess, scoring opportunities, some that were squandered away, some that they capitalized on, but ultimately this was a pretty exciting baseball game. Gerrit Cole pitched a heck of a game. Jack Flaherty stepped up for the Dodgers. Both starting pitchers had pretty good outings, man. 6 innings for Cole, 4 hits allowed, 1 earned run, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Jack Flaherty, 5 1/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 6 K. And then, I mean, these are supposed to be powerhouse offenses, and these teams were held scoreless for, I think, what was it, 5 innings? Yeah, 5 innings.
Yeah, and I'll always say, man, pitching, excellent pitching, good pitching will beat great offense every time. It's just a matter of when a pitcher makes a mistake. And when Flaherty just threw that up there to Giancarlo and he had an absolute nuke, it's just like, come on, man. Because Flaherty had the Yankees off balance the entire game. They couldn't do nothing against him.
Yeah.
And he just made that one mistake. And, I mean, Giancarlo Stanton, man, he is an absolute
man.
Postseason.
He's a beast in the postseason. He has a 1.159 OPS this postseason. He has been absolutely on fire. After Juan Soto gets that leadoff single in the top of the 6th, Stanton hits that 6th home run of the postseason on an 0-2 count off Flaherty. And it wasn't even a bad pitch. It was just Stanton being a superhuman when I guess it matters most.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, man, Giancarlo Stanton is good at one thing, and that's hitting massive home runs. That's about all he can do because the man is brittle. But man, he is an absolute force right now in this postseason. So, yeah, man, it was crazy. It was a great game. I mean, well, you really can't complain as a baseball fan. You got great baseball on both sides.
Right.
But,
and then Kike on the other side, right? Kike continues to do it for the Dodgers for some inexplicable reason. He scored the Dodgers' first run there, the first run of the game on a Will Smith sac fly that broke that 0-0 tie. And I mean, so far, I mean, this game, like it like I said, it had everything. It had a pitching duel. We had an absolutely bonehead play that our known GM Elise is bringing up in the chat. She says Gleyber not putting his body in front of that ball on the relay throw was such a lazy play and a huge moment. And I mean, shout out to Ohtani on that double for taking third and inevitably scoring. That was a hell of a heads up play, but it was lazy. It was bad in the moment. Like, this game had such great defense at times, and the times where they faltered cost them.
Yeah. And then that play was huge. I mean, that just shows you. It also shows you Ohtani's baseball IQ.
Yeah,
he was on top of things, and he
knew immediately. Yeah, he knew immediately.
He was gone. Yeah, and then you weren't going to throw him out at that point. Once he made that break, no. So, yeah, it was a bonehead play by Gleyber Torres. But it is what it is. They just got to shake it off and come back tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I mean, inevitable, right? You don't really mind, I guess, losing on the road if you're the road team. Like, it's not ideal, but I just think back to the Diamondbacks last season and how big of a lead they had in that game one and how they squandered it late, and how important that ended up being for this team, right? Like, this could ultimately be huge in regards to the Yankees. You also had the fan interference moment, so we had a bit of controversy with a Dodger fan reaching over and catching a Gleyber Torres ball that I don't know how, it wasn't going to go over, right? It was going to hit the wall or maybe be caught. Like, I don't think it was going to be caught, but I feel like the end result was it was going to be Torres just still being at second, probably, right?
Yeah, well, it just depends, because you really don't know how that ball might have caromed off the wall, because the way that's true. The angle that Teoscar was coming towards it, if that ball hit the wall and goes the other direction, Gleyber Torres is on third base, and we're probably having an entirely different discussion right now.
Yeah, it's wild. So, and then I don't know. Like, I don't know. Is that Dodger fan a hero since he doesn't score? Is he knew what he did was wrong. That was one of my favorite parts about it. He knew what he did was wrong. He went and packed up his things. I don't know what was better, him packing up his things. It looked like he had a small child with him. Imagine having to tell your son, like, "Oh, Dad screwed up. Get your stuff. We gotta go. We gotta go now." But then you also had the guy. We posted the video. You had the guy next to him that did this. Like, he was like, "What are you doing?" Oh, man. Elise says Dodger fans should be jailed. Jay Cuddy says Guy immediately gets up and leaves with his son. Yeah, they cut back to him after they showed the replay, and he was putting things in a bag and getting ready to walk out of the stadium. Like, it's a decent rule. They showed a replay of the Yankees and the Orioles, right, during the broadcast, where some snot-nosed kid reached like 3 feet out, and then he was all being like heralded as a hero. The fans were holding him up and down, cheering him on. Like, that was whatever. But
the only bonus for that Dodger fan being kicked out was the fact that he got to leave early. He's probably home by now, because everybody leaving that game is not going to get home until Tuesday.
No, they're not. No, they're not even going to get their cars out of that weird parking situation that they have over there. I hate everything about going to that stadium, but I like that stadium. I don't. I'm not helping my case here. There's already people that think I'm way too excited about this win. I don't know how you can't be. I get it. See, there's Tanner saying Derek is ecstatic right now. I get it. Rock, I know you're not here often, but I often get called a secret Dodger fan for things that I inexplicably say. I can't help myself sometimes, but this one was a lot of fun. Extra innings was a lot of fun. Jazz Chisholm, former Arizona Diamondback, I guess never Diamondback, but part of the organization. Man,
you know what, man?
What a truly exciting player that guy is when the lights are bright, right?
Yeah, depending on how the rest of this series plays out, if the Yankees go on to win the World Series, the move they made to pick up Jazz Chisholm plays a huge role in that, because Jazz just accelerated his game when he put the pinstripes on. So I'm a Jazz Chisholm guy, so I'm happy to see him thriving.
Dude, he turned a single into a triple basically with his legs, and then he ends up scoring the go-ahead run right on an Anthony Volpe ground out RBI. Yep. But there was still the Dodgers' turn to bat, and of course, one of the most incredible defensive plays happened there with 2 on and 1 out, where Shohei hits that foul ball on the first pitch, and Alex Verdugo falls into the stands, puts it all on the line for that, and then. Yeah, I don't know. Again, like the situation with the fan interfering, I don't know what I loved more, the catch or like him getting up and throwing around the pole to get the ball into play. Like, I mean, it was just heads up baseball, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter because they walked Mookie Betts. Nestor Cortez walks Mookie Betts. Freddie Freeman feels the level of disrespect and hits one of possibly the most iconic home runs in Dodger history.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare bring it up! Don't you dare!
I won't bring up
you dare
Kirk Gibson or Dennis Eckersley or 1988. But that one was incredible. And man, I'll tell you, this game had everything. It had it all. I need Stefan here to tell me how there's the new hottest club in town, and it's called World Series. And it has everything,
You know what, though? Honestly, it couldn't have happened to a better guy who's had a tough season, who's gone through a lot on the field as well as off the field. You can't be mad at Freddie Freeman, man. He's gone through the ringer, So to do what he did on a bad ankle, I mean, the man legged out a triple earlier in the game, and then it's a walk-off grand slam. I mean, Jesus. What are you going to do? You think you're good because you managed not to let Ohtani beat you. You didn't let Mookie beat you. You let Freddie get you, though.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, Freddie's had a tough stretch, right? Like they said, I think it's been a month. And I mean, he overcame that injury. It's just, it's a big moment. I know what he's gone through with his son. He's had a lot, to deal with outside of this run that his team has been making. He is a leader. He is seen as one of the most important pieces of it, and he hasn't really contributed in the way I'm sure anyone, including himself, would like. So, biggest hit of the postseason for Freddie Freeman, and I mean the Dodgers just take a really important game one. We have our updated postseason bracket to take a look at here. We got game 2 on Saturday here, same start time, and I mean, I like this. This was just game 1. We could have 6 more of these. That's
If we get a 7-game series and it's 7 games of this, sign me up. That way I can get my fair share of baseball, and then I'm sad until spring training.
Mm-hmm.
But all in all, man, like I want a good World Series. I love baseball. Yeah, I hate the Dodgers, and I'm not a Yankee fan, but I want a good World Series.
Well, you're the biggest baseball fan I know. I know a lot of people that are big baseball fans that once their team exits the playoffs, or in our case,
doesn't make the playoffs,
that thing happened. Like a lot of people are disengaged. They don't really care. And I understand that. Like I've often said, I would have never once watched this show as a fan after a loss. I'm not that kind of fan. I'm not the kind of fan that wants to talk more about my team losing after my team lost. I, in fact, for my own mental well-being and mental health, try to get as far away from it as possible. I go watch a cartoon with my daughter or something cleansing like that, right? But I mean, in this case, it's kind of sucked to watch this, whole thing play out. But as a baseball fan, we've had a pretty fun, playoff run overall, and it's been fun to watch this MLB postseason. And I mean, it ends up being the 2 number 1 seeds, the 2 teams that spent a whole ton of money.
Yeah,
but still, it's like it at the very least, it's that, and I said this on our preview show, but you just have essentially the two best lineups, the two best of the best going against each other. And I mean, it feels like this outcome that we saw, this game that we saw, was the result of that. This was exciting. It's just crazy that these teams are so potent offensively. And like I said, they're held scoreless for 5 innings. At one point, it looked like this was going to be essentially a 3-2 ball game, and that pitching was going to, I guess win the day.
Yeah. Yeah, it was surprising because you would think with the lineups on both sides that there would have been a lot more offensively. But again, when good pitching, when them pitchers are on locked in, Gerrit Cole threw a hell of a game. Flaherty threw a hell of a game while he was out there. They did everything they were supposed to do. Yeah, and the bullpens came in and locked it down.
Yeah. Dodgers bullpen 4 2/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 7K. And then the Yankees bullpen, a little different there because of especially that 10th inning, but solid prior to the 10th inning. I mean, 4 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk. Luke Weaver, former Diamondback, continues to be just incredible for the Yankees. And once again, just make us miss him so much. Yeah. But again, I know. Well, we're going to talk about maybe some of those players from the Yankees that might be free agents at the end of this season that we might want to poach and steal away. We're not going to do Dodgers because, again, the allegations against me are already far too strong. But it is what it is. But I do want to thank you guys for being here tonight in the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. You guys are awesome. Sean asks, Derek, when do those Die Hard shows start? My guy, we already got one in the can. We will have an Ask Archie dropping this weekend for diehards. And let me tell you, it is electric. Just to give you a little preview, there may or may not be forgery allegations discussed in this episode of Ask Archie. So if you haven't signed up for a PHNX Diehard membership yet, I implore you to do so. Now is a great time to do so. You can get it for an introductory offer of just $48. And of course, you get all of our wonderful content. You do get our additional shows. Me and Damon are going to be cursing up a storm on at D-Backs After Dark. You got the Die Hard membership card. You get a free t-shirt of your choice. Again, access to all our premium written content. So all of that hard work Jesse's been working on, you'll get access to all of that. Also, entrance to our Discord lounge, which is the best place to be an Arizona sports fan, and discounts on all of our events. So make sure to join us over here. It's a great time to do so. I mean, $48 is just $4 a month. And you spend more on coffee than that. So, of course, make sure to join us. On the other side of this break, we're going to talk some more about this game, some stats, and maybe give out a king snake. I don't know. We might not have learned our lesson, or maybe we did. I don't know. Stick around to find out. We'll be right back. Of course, a great place to join us over is Chicken and Pickle, because Chicken and Pickle is our favorite indoor entertainment complex. And if you have never tried pickleball before, let me tell you, it is fun. You'll be addicted to it. It's easier than you think, and you'll have a great time with your friends. If you're new to pickleball, there is a brand new newbie night that can get you acclimated to the sport. There's instructions and facilitated play included. Plus, every participant gets a $10 Chicken and Pickle gift card. You can also join us for our Cardinals tailgates at Chicken and Pickle. We have so much fun out there, so make sure to join us. This guy's not a Cardinals fan, but we'll let him slide on this one. But even if we're not out there, you can go to Chicken and Pickle. That facility over there by State Farm Stadium in Glendale is incredible, with so much to do and some great food. So head to chickenandpickle.com to see all the fun you can have at their Glendale location. Also, of course, I'm here in my home. I'm hoping my internet connection is better than it's been in the past, and I wouldn't be here without the fine folks at Desert Financial Credit Union. For more than 84 years, Desert Financial has been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union, and they are dedicated to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community and providing financial solutions that make lives better. Look to Desert Financial for checking and savings accounts, mortgages, loans, credit cards, investment options, and so much more. Like I said, they got me started on my home ownership journey. Hopefully they can get you started as well. Join a credit union that is committed to giving back to the community and sharing success with their members. When you open a free checking account online, get $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200. Rock, I know you are in your brand new home, and I know there's few things that feel better I mean, the moving part, that's not so great, but getting that good interest rate and having a secured mortgage and that home to be in is a good feeling.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are going to get to the count now, presented by our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union. So let's take a look at the numbers from tonight's game. The Dodgers outscore the Yankees by a score of 6-3. The Yankees actually outhit the Dodgers 10-7. Both teams were just 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position, meaning that one home run there by Freddie Freeman was the Dodgers' only hit with runners in scoring position tonight. That hence the lack of scoring. The Dodgers had 5 extra base hits to the Yankees 2, and then expected batting average was 271 for the Dodgers to the Yankees 213. This is, I mean, yeah, this kind of explains it. I mean, these two teams were as well matched as you could possibly imagine, and I mean, who says it in the chat? But he says it's time to bring the ABS challenge system in. We've been talking a little bit, Rock, about all the testing they're doing out at the Arizona Fall League games with ABS, and now they have the check swing challenge system. And, you know, I mean, when you watch a game of this magnitude and you see some of the calls that were made and just some of the inconsistency, like, again, now I didn't have any horse in this race particularly, but I mean, I will say that this wasn't a great, like a perfect night for the umpires. I don't feel like it really swung the game one way or another, but I will say I am ready for some sort of backup system, especially in big moments like this where we just want to make sure that they got the call right.
Yeah, and that's really all that we want as baseball fans is, you know, things to not be decided by the guys, you know, calling the game. You want the players on the field to be the ones to determine what happens. You know, thank God that we're not dealing with the Angel Hernandez era anymore.
Yeah, but tonight was pretty bad. Tonight was pretty bad.
Yeah. And the only problem with that is you're always going to have that. It's always going to be human error. You know, you just hate that, you know, it can play such an impactful role in certain situations. And all you can hope is that, you know, the next game they get better because they review everything too. They know what they missed, what they got right.
That's for sure. Yeah.
You know, so hopefully, you know, everyone that they'll come back out tomorrow and, you know, hopefully they'll call a better game and, you know, we'll see what happens.
I think overall, when it comes to like umpiring, we were talking about how weird the check swing system is because it is much further out than any of us thought a check swing would go. Yeah. It's a 45 degree angle from the knob of the bat, which way crosses over the front of home plate and is not, you know, like that was kind of everybody's interpretation. We even talked to Tommy Troy, and he even said he thought that the check swing stops there, right? So I almost feel like across sports, and we talked about this the other day when we were talking about the check balance or check swing balance system, that they need to make it less of an interpretive thing from an official, right? Like of an NBA official or an NFL referee, you know, or an umpire. Like they just need to make things more black and white where it's not left up to the discretion of the official because humans are corruptible. Not only are they corruptible, but humans are fallible, right? So they can make mistakes and they can have an off night, and you don't want that off night happening in the biggest game of the year, in the Super Bowl or in the World Series or whatever the case may be, right? So I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not going to bag on it because I know how hard it is to be an umpire. I know how much pressure they are on this stage too, right? Like it's not just the players that are under this kind of pressure. They're also up there performing and trying to make sure that they do their job well.
Yeah, I mean, and you could also argue that they're almost under more pressure sometimes because they are the ones who really determine, you know, out balls, you know, third strikes, balls. I mean,
they don't want to get the calls wrong.
You know, it's a tough job. It's a thankless job. You know, no one's thanking umpires when they do a great job. You just want to tear them down when they screw something up. So it's just
true.
It comes to the territory, man.
It is true.
You gotta have thick skin. You gotta have thick skin.
All right. Well, it's what everybody's been waiting for, Rock. Everybody has been tremendously waiting for this moment. It is time for us to announce our King Snake for tonight's game. And it's nobody because we learned our lesson. We're not making that mistake again. We will never give the king snake out to anybody that isn't an Arizona Diamondback ever again.
Thank you. The people thank you.
Yeah. I don't know if they thank me, Rock, as much as
You're right.
attacked me into this, right? Like it's more of a personal attack on it, but it was also mistakes made. It's also Kevin's fault. Kevin's a newer producer, and it tends to be the producer's job to basically keep me in line, and he failed his first effort at that. Yeah, no, it's not. You know that for a fact.
I do.
That one time in Flagstaff. We won't talk about it, but anyway. But anyway, I will say this, that I do, like, I almost hate covering this. I don't care about this World Series at all. Like, I really don't. This was a great game, and I could say that as an observer, but the amount of not caring is very high, and it's wild because the reception, publicly at least, is that people feel the same way. Like, a lot of people just hate this and they don't want to watch it and whatever, but I'm curious to see what the ratings are going to be. I'm curious to see what what the viewership is, especially compared to last year with the Diamondbacks and the Rangers being so low, right? So
I think the numbers are going to be crazy high.
It's going to be nuts, right? I mean, it's just that's the way it's going to be. But
I mean, I think you throw in it's the Ohtani factor, man. This is the stage that anyone that loves baseball and loves watching Shohei Ohtani, this is the stage that you wanted to see him on for so long, and he had to leave the Angels to do it, and now here he is. And we're going to see what he does on this stage. And if he carries his team to a World Series, he did what he was supposed to do.
Well, apparently the Suns aren't doing what they're supposed to do. I have no idea because I stopped watching at the end of the first half. But
are we losing to the Lakers right now?
We're probably losing to the Lakers. It's gross. God, it's gross.
This is a terrible night.
Yeah, things aren't great. Oh, Suns down 10 with 124 left in the fourth. Yeah. No, I don't need that. Get that off my screen. That's gross.
You know what else isn't great? You know what's not great right now? Aaron Judge. Where did Aaron Judge go?
Oh my God. I don't know, man. I mean, like, it's baseball, right? So, like, there's times where we start to call guys like, yeah, there is that clutch factor, right? There is guys like Kike Hernandez who just seem to thrive in this element, to thrive under this pressure, under these bright lights, right? And again, I mean, any baseball player at any time can go in a slump or struggle, and I mean, it can happen during the postseason and not necessarily be about the pressure of the postseason, but it very much seems like that.
Yeah, I don't think it's so much the pressure, and I only say that because he plays in the biggest sports market in the world.
That's fair.
I don't think it's a pressure thing. I think he might be, at this point, pressing a little too hard and trying to do too much.
Yeah.
I want to say it was his second or third at bat against Flaherty, and he just missed. He fouled off a ball that he just missed. And if he would have been timing down, that ball would have been upper deck gone. He just missed it. So he's close. It's going to be interesting to see what adjustments he makes tomorrow. Because you would expect at some point Aaron Judge is going to go full on Aaron Judge and just start launching baseballs out of the park.
Yeah, 1 for 5 tonight with 3 strikeouts. Meanwhile, Soto seems patient. Soto's taking his walks. He's getting on base somehow. He's not doing too much, but I mean, he was that leadoff single for the Stanton home run, right? So yes,
he was.
I mean, I think you're right. There is something to the fact that, like, yeah, you hit dingers and you're the big strong guy and all that, but when it comes to playoff time, it really is about, taking what's given to you. I mean, the Dodgers beat the crap out of teams this postseason, and they'd end up with 2 extra base hits in the game, right? Like, it's not really about the power sometimes as much as it's about, kind of, I guess, bleeding them to death a little bit. I mean, tonight, I really do think that even though the Dodgers won this game, they might have won the battle, but at what cost? Because they used a lot of relievers, and the Dodgers are going to use a lot of relievers this postseason. They use Banda, they use Gratterall, they use Vesia, they use Kopech, and they use Blake Treinen, right? So it's like it's not a great start considering that that there's a bullpen game coming up and a Walker Buehler start that could potentially be kind of short. It's great that they won, or for them, it's great that they won. Again, there's those accusations are going to come back when I say stuff like that. But it's great for them that they won. But it's going to be interesting to see like how over the stretch how this works out for them, how pitching ends up. Like it still seems like they're going to be kind of thin. The Yankees looked pretty good pitching wise today, and even their bullpen was fairly efficient. They were able to have Luke Weaver go out there for nearly 2 innings. So there's something to, the minimal usage that they had today.
No, their bullpen was on, man. And then, it all came down to Nestor Cortes throwing a beach ball to Freddie Freeman. So, I mean, what do you expect, man? Like when you throw up a freaking, that was in the sweet spot too. If you're a left-handed hitter, low and in, that is your sweet spot, and he absolutely obliterated that baseball.
Well, and it literally felt like it was, let's go after Freeman, right? I mean, it felt they intentionally walked Mookie to go to Freddie, and he made him pay. And I mean, that was obviously not the right call. I mean, it was statistically right. I'm sure the analytics would say with the way that he's been hitting over the postseason that was the right call, but. Again, he's still Freddie Freeman, and he's still one of the best, hitters in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, you load the bases in that situation. I mean, a base hit scores 2 games over anyway. So I understand the logic of putting, loading the bases because it doesn't really matter at that point. A base hit, you're going to lose. You just can't, as Nestor Cortes, you cannot do that. You cannot throw that pitch in that situation and miss that bad to a former MVP. And I don't even care that he's on a bad leg. He's still Freddie Freeman, man.
Yeah,
the man can still play. I mean, the man can hit in. It's World Series baseball. This is do or die for these guys. This is what they play for. So this is what the 162 games leads up to. So
who says watch the walk-off clip? And that was way worse than Sewall pitch to Seager. Yeah, yes, it was. If that makes anybody somehow feel a little bit better, I will confirm that is the case. But we get another game tomorrow, and then a few more potentially after that. Who knows how long this goes?
Is it Yamamoto tomorrow for the Dodgers?
I believe it's Yamamoto for the Dodgers. Yes.
Who's going for who's starting for the Yankees? Do we know? Is it I don't know their rotation well. I really don't.
I don't know off the top of my head. This is terrible. Podcast.
Yeah, we should know these things. I just don't know their rotation well. I don't pay attention to Yankee baseball like
that. we don't care. It's Carlos Rodon versus Yamamoto.
Oh God.
Yeah, there you go.
That doesn't bode well for the Yankees. I don't know if I have a whole lot of faith in Carlos Rodon. So
it does not.
Tomorrow is. It's a no-brainer. Tomorrow is a must-win for the Yankees. You don't want to go home down 0-2. You got to split this. You got to split the games, and then go back home and then do what you got to do there. So it's a must-win. It's funny saying that as it's game 2, but statistically, it's
you got to figure out a way to get back in it. Yeah. And again, Yamamoto has been solid for the Dodgers. I mean, at least in his return from his injury. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. But of course, we will be back on Monday. And we'll talk about all of this, so make sure to join us then. But before we go, we are going to take a look at some free agents here from the Yankees, from the AL champion Yankees. We're not going to, like I said, we're not going to do the Dodgers thing. We'll look at some Yankees and see if we want to poach some guys away. Also, Brock's going to update us on some recent card purchases, and we're going to see if we could speculate why a son would hit his mom with a frying pan over baseball cards. I'm sure it's because she threw them away. We'll have all that on the other side of this break. Don't you guys go anywhere. Of course, I'm wearing my Branded Bills hat right now. You can elevate your brand with Branded Bills, the perfect headwear and apparel company. Whether you are looking to get yourself a new hat, whether you are looking to get yourself, I don't know, whether you're looking to get yourself snapbacks, truckers, fitteds, beanies, tees, doesn't matter. Branded Bills has you covered with performance and style. If you're looking for some gear to make your brand stand apart, check out Branded Bills. They also have partnerships with ASU and U of A as part of their campus collection. You get yourself all sorts of wonderful options. You also have some just Arizona hats. Like, I love this Arizona design that they have. This one particular is both Arizona and ASU, but you can head to brandedbills.com and use our code of PHNX for 20% off your first order. And of course, make sure to check out all the options that they have for their customized stuff. Also, speaking of all of these wonderful baseball games and all of these other wonderful sporting events coming up this fall, make sure to check out Game Time. You can save up to 60% off by buying tickets last minute for sports, concerts, comedy shows, and so much more. Yeah, even if you're trying to go to this World Series, these tickets are expensive. You might be able to save yourself some money over at Game Time. They have a brand new feature right now called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite events even easier. All you got to do is use Game Time Picks to filter out the fluff, and they will show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste your time searching through thousands of tickets. Right now, you can also get down on the all-in pricing, where you will see what the final cost is going to be before you get to checkout, so there'll be no surprise. You can toggle this feature up front with no surprise fees at checkout. You can also see what your tickets, your view from your seats are going to look at, like with their panoramic view from your seat. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. All right. Well, again, we don't want to talk about Dodgers any more than we have to, Rock, and so we're not going to do that. But the Yankees do have a load of players becoming free agents this offseason. As everybody knows, Juan Soto is going to be a free agent this offseason, as well as a bevy of other players from the Yankees lineup. Now, I wanted to go through some. I know there's 10 free agents that they had. Of course, Juan Soto is the name. Tanner already wants Juan Soto. We know the Diamondbacks don't have Juan Soto money, right? Not only do they not have Juan Soto money, but they don't really have a need for outfielders per se. I mean, the Yankees have Alex Verdugo, who we saw make an incredible catch tonight. He's going to become a free agent after the season. And then Juan Soto. And I mean, as wonderful as both of those players are, I don't see the Diamondbacks, like, it obviously Juan Soto is out of the question, but even like a Verdugo, I don't see the Diamondbacks bringing someone in like that. That's going to probably cost, what someone of their caliber is going to cost.
Yeah. I mean, Juan Soto is going to get around $50 million a year, probably, with whatever team he ends up on, whether it's the Yankees or the Mets. Crazy. I don't know. Do you think Soto stays in New York?
I think he stays with the Yankees. Yeah,
I think
he's going to stay there.
Yeah, he's going to get $50 million a year. I'm assuming it's going to be close to $50 million a year, which is insane. The dude's 25 years old.
Well, and I can't imagine. I mean, I guess there are some teams that would be in the market for him. I just can't imagine anybody being able to, pay that. Like you said, a New York team in some way.
The Mets, the Mets could be in the conversation, but I don't know, man. I got
Tanner says could be a Dodger, and I'll just quit. I'll just quit. I just won't do this job anymore. I'll find something else to do. If you've ever wanted to get rid of me, help the Dodgers land Juan Soto. Because that's that point where, like, these teams are already rich enough. They already have all the all-stars. They already have all the things. Like, it's not going to happen, but yeah, I mean, they could defer the contract and probably make money off.
Bro, think about it. You'd be pitching to Shohei Ohtani, Juan Soto, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman.
It's
no,
and they'd lock them up for 50 years and everything. But all right. So looking at some of these other free agents, I mean, infielders, we got Anthony Rizzo at first base, who is going to most likely go back to like the Cubs for, nostalgia reasons. And then Gleyber Torres, who the Diamondbacks wouldn't need a second baseman. So
Gleyber Torres is the hell about it, New York. He is so gone.
Oh yeah. Gone. Yeah. I wouldn't see him sticking around. I could see him going far away. But relief pitching, they have a lot of arms in their bullpen that are coming up, and of course, I think that's where the Diamondbacks could potentially look. And I mean, again, it's really about just trying to improve their bullpen, maybe not needing multiple pieces, but one of these guys could definitely help them out. Of course, the name that I'm meaning is Luke Weaver. Unfortunately, he has a club option, and I doubt the Yankees are going to turn that down with the way Weaver has been pitching, because he has just been lights out for them somehow.
Yeah, they're picking that up for sure. Like, seriously, Luke Weaver is going to be in pinstripes next year. He's not going anywhere.
And I mean, like, what a story for Luke. I mean, Archie was talking about it the other day on the show, but just like for Luke to have gone through the struggles that he's gone through, and for him to be now on the biggest stage pitching for one of the biggest teams in all of baseball, and thriving in the way that he is.
Yeah. And especially in the role that he's been playing as of late. He's been a closer. Prior to tonight, he was closing games for the Yankees. So, I mean, for them to have that much faith and trust in him says a lot. And he's come a long way. He's definitely come a long way.
Ernesto in the chat says, let's sign Luke Weaver, Seawalk, and Goldie in the same offseason just for funsies. And I don't hate that at all. Ain't gonna happen. But Christian Walker, I think deep down in my soul, I feel like is not coming back. Diego Scorvo here says Christian Walker will be a Yankee next year. That actually would not surprise me one bit, to be honest.
I think we're going to see Christian Walker in pinstripes for sure. Yeah, I think it's going to happen, unfortunately.
I mean, he's going to be – I feel like in some way he's going to be lured away by some – by some big team with the money. And, I mean, maybe even the allure, right? Like playing for the Yankees, playing in those pinstripes, right? That means something to a lot of guys in baseball, as much as we wished it didn't. As much as we wished guys wanted to thrive here and wear teal and red and, be a Diamondback. It's just it's not the same, right? All right. Well, we got Tommy Canley. He's been pretty good for them. He's another relief pitcher. And I also like Jonathan Loizaga. Johnny Lasagna is what I hear they call him. And I like that just because of the Johnny Lasagna name. If there was a team that could afford to bring all of their free agents like this back, obviously it would be the Yankees, and there's no doubt about it. But I mean, there might be some upgrades that they see fit, and there might be some matches here, because again, I feel like if the Diamondbacks really are going to add anybody besides the guys that are leaving, like the ideal candidates for the Diamondbacks to bring back in free agency are the guys who are leaving, essentially. Not necessarily the pitchers, but, Randall Grichuk, Jock Peterson, they had great years. Christian Walker, these are the guys that you would like to have back. But as far as upgrades go, as far as changes go, I really feel like the bullpen is going to be the one area that the Diamondbacks might target to bring in some new arms.
Is it too late to DFA Paul Sewald?
He's not on the team technically anymore. So if you want to, you can, just for fun.
Is he gone for real? For real?
Yeah, he's a free agent after this season.
Thank you, Jesus. Goodbye. Get out. I'll pack your bags, bro. I got you.
Yeah. It's you're not the only one that feels that way, that's for sure. But anyway, I did have one last thing. Like I said, I wanted to ask, I know you are our in-house card collector. I know baseball cards right now are crazier than ever. Have you gotten anything new lately?
Yeah, I can show you the last two cards that I got. I had to support. I don't know if you can see. Let me get the camera. That is, it's all blurred. That's our short.
Was that an Alec Thomas auto?
Yeah, it's blurred out. Yeah, it's his
Hold in front of your face.
Classic. Yeah, it's the World Baseball Classic.
Oh, that's nice.
And then my Jose Canseco Simpsons card.
Oh, boo!
Hey, I grew up a Canseco fan, bro.
That's pretty good, though. That's pretty good.
He's a part of my PC. I still collect the guy.
I saw that the PSA has like a database now that you can like log your cards in, and you can be ranked as a collector based on how many rare cards you have of a particular player.
Yeah, they got all kinds of stuff that they can track with the barcode and the serial number on each PSA slab. So it tells you there's a lot of information you get. It'll tell you how many other cards exist with the same grade. It's crazy, man. Like card grading is becoming a bigger and bigger thing. I don't particularly I've never sent any of my cards to get graded. I don't collect, looking for like tens and whatnot. I collect for, my personal collection. So, but I mean, I would love to, there's some PSA 10s I would love to have, give me like a 2018 Ohtani. I'll take that. Well, that's money right there. So
you got me my favorite card in my collection, which is the Matt Hilton Beekeeper card.
Hey,
that's a rare one.
That's a rare one. It is a rare one. But yeah, those are the most recent pickups that I've gotten, and I'm also working on I'm trying to collect autographs from every Diamondback that was on the 2001 World Series roster. So
how many do you have?
I'm only missing, and it's only because I haven't, put the money down yet. I don't have Randy Johnson, Mark Grace. I hate that I have to buy a Curt Schilling because that dude's a dirtbag. I don't want just to complete what I'm trying to do. I need Danny Bautista still, and
one of my favorites.
Yeah, Danny Bautista was one of my favorite Diamondbacks too. So, but everybody else, Tony Womack, Council, Jay Bell, Matt Williams, Gonzo. I got every other guy. It's just a few of the bigger name ones that I'm waiting on to get. So
Ernesto says the best card he ever pulled was a Jordan game used jersey card back in 2002. I think
Ernesto still has
that. I will tell you what, man. I mean, there's few things as exciting in life as actually pulling one of those cards from like a pack. I know you and I have sat down and opened cards a few times before, but
you were there when I pulled that Donnie baseball auto.
That's right. That's right. That was classic. We did have this news story that I needed to bring to your attention because there was a dispute over baseball cards that ended with a woman being hit in the head with a cast iron skillet per a Mississippi sheriff. Now the woman's son, Cedric Demon Ross, 43-year-old, not a small child, was arrested Thursday after turning himself into authorities, according to the Yazoo County Sheriff's Office. According to this report, the reason for the attack has not been disclosed. Rock, did she or did she not throw away his baseball cards?
It sounds like she threw away his baseball cards.
And I'm just saying. I'm not saying the punishment fit the crime, but I'm just saying without disclosing the reason why this altercation took place, I think those of us that have collected comic books or cards that read this story can put two and two together as to what exactly happened here.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I would love to. I'm gonna have to do some follow up.
Are you a cartoon character, sir? You hit someone with a cast iron skillet? Are you Tom or Jerry? What in the hell is wrong with people?
I mean, hitting someone with a cast iron skillet is just it's a little egregious.
It's what watching this World Series feels like, getting hit with a cast iron skillet, basically. It's like, I don't want this, and it hurts. And that's what watching this World Series is like.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And speaking of things that hurt, just to kind of steer us in a little other direction, do want to send the deepest condolences, rest in peace, to El Toro. Fernando Valenzuela passed away this week. The only Dodger I could never hate. I could never hate Fernando.
Yeah.
Sad, man. I think he was like 63.
Yeah.
Which is
way too young. Way too young.
He was an absolute legend. Especially for, a Mexican kid growing up too. Fernando was, he was one. Fernando. So it was really nice to see the Fernando patch on the Dodgers jerseys.
And that mural that they have at Chavez Ravine, that was really nice too, right? Like, again, just legend in the game. We talked about his numbers. We talked about his season. We talked about Fernando Mania the other day, but it's like, it's incredible when you look at what he did really as a rookie in Major League Baseball. And not only that, but like the impact he had. Like, I know it's one of those things that was like, as a sports fan, I didn't experience, right? Because I was too young, right? But like to actually be in that moment, it's like one of those things that like generations after kind of lose that because they don't really understand how crazy it was to watch that guy in his rookie season do the things that he did, right? My cousin, who was born in September of 1981, is named Fernando, and I'm pretty sure you could put 2 and 2 together there as to why that is the case, right? Like, that just goes to show how big of an impact he had, especially on, the Hispanic community and, it just in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, you're also and you're talking to a guy whose middle name is Reginald, because I was named after Reggie Jackson. So
yeah. You get it. You get it.
Oh, yeah, I totally get it. So
again, reminiscing about a Dodger again isn't going to help me beat any of these allegations. But if there's one person I'm willing to do that for, it's Fernando. He was my first autographed. In fact, I said that on the show the other day, but my first autographed baseball was a Fernando Valenzuela baseball. So rest amazing. In peace, El Toro. And it'll be Fernando Mania forever for sure. But
absolutely,
the Dodgers definitely have a little magic on their side. They might have somebody watching out for them, and it's going to be interesting to see how this World Series develops. Of course, right now you can get a bunch of our content on YouTube if you haven't checked it out. I know this is not very Diamondback centric, so I apologize for that. We only have a few more games to go, and then we'll be just giving grades out, doing nothing but Diamondback stuff. But in the meantime, we're going to cover this World Series, so we will be back next week with a few more post-game shows, depending on how everything goes. Of course, we will also be back with Jesse Friedman next week. He will be returning eventually. He just decided that he had enough of baseball and decided to take off in the middle of the World Series. But that's Jesse for sure.
Selfish, Jesse. Selfish.
He's so selfish. Who says I'm enjoying the show content? We appreciate you checking out our PHNX plays for sure. Make sure to check out that. The Diamondbacks won game 1. Wait, I shouldn't. No spoilers. They may have not won game 1 of their series with the Phillies. So make sure to check that out. I might have blown that. Also, I had another meeting with all of the Valley sports teams, and those guys are driving me absolutely insane, as you may understand. So again, make sure to check out the brand new meetings with the mayor and everything else that we're doing. Rock, you got anything? You got anything? I know you have a book coming out here soon.
Yeah, that's the Pieces That Made Me. It's a collection of all my writing for the past 20 years. The book's ready to go. We're just going to wait till just after the first of the year to put that out. There's going to be a couple. There's going to be a couple book release parties, and I have a feeling that I've already been talked into stepping back on stage and maybe giving one last performance. So stay tuned, more to come on that. But yeah, after the first of the year, the Pieces That Made Me is coming soon, and I'm excited to share it. A little nervous to share it because it's a deep dive. It's a deep dive inside of the mind of a crazy lunatic.
The insane mind of Rock. Well, I'll tell you this much, man. I appreciate you coming on the show with me today. And of course, you've been a DJ here in the Valley. You have been obviously a MC and also a spoken word artist. So again, make sure to check that out. I'm sure there's some incredible stories. Sean wants to know what your football team is. Do you want to talk about that? You don't want to talk about that?
No, I will openly discuss the fact that I'm a lifelong Dallas Cowboy fan. I will also premise that by saying I have not watched a single down of Dallas Cowboy football this entire season. One, because baseball is still happening.
To us about it.
There's still baseball going on. So maybe when the season's over, I'll maybe tune in, but probably not.
All right. Well, good. I mean, baseball will be back before we know it. And of course, so will we. So we'll be back next week. Of course, we appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Again, make sure to check out all of the wonderful content we've put out. Also, I did want to remind you guys of our Die Hard membership. Make sure to check that out if you haven't done so already. And of course, our wonderful PHNX events. We have so much stuff coming up. So if you haven't had a chance to come out as a diehard or not even a diehard and join us for one of our tailgate events or our Suns watch parties or our Cardinals watch parties, make sure to do that. We have a blast doing this entire thing that we're doing, and we always love hanging out with you guys. So make sure to do that. Also, make sure you never throw away anybody's baseball cards ever. I'm not going to say you're going to get hit with an iron skillet, but I'm not going to say that you're not going to get hit with an iron skillet. I'm also not going to defend, or I guess I will defend my actions in regards to people thinking I'm a Dodgers fan. Rock can attest to this. I did show up to have a beer with him in a Yankees jersey, mostly just to piss him off, but also it was an attempt to break the allegations, to basically free myself, to free my good name, clear my good name.
It didn't clear your good name with me. It was disgusting that you walked in wearing that horrible number 18. And when I asked you who it was, you told me it was Johnny Damon, and I was even more shocked.
Yeah, Didi Gregorius was also number 18, I believe.
Didi was number 18. That is correct.
Yeah. I'm gonna start telling people that's what that jersey is. Sean, it was Didi Gregorius. Yeah, maybe it was a Johnny Damon back in the day. I'm a very old person, and I apologize for how long I've been watching baseball. I watched this game long time before, of course, the Diamondbacks existed. So I do have some relics from my fandom days of the past. Some relics, which maybe I dig out every once in a while. But again, I get it. I know so many of you hate this World Series and don't want to have anything to do with it. But again, if you are a baseball fan, this was a whole lot of fun. It was it's probably not going to get less fun. So make sure to check out Game 2 and then all the games next week, and then join us for some post-game action, because we will be here for that. We got Patrick Lyons joining us next week as well for some post-game action. So again, I know you guys all miss Patty Plantains. Make sure to join us. In the meantime, you can follow us all on Twitter. I am at Cap_Caveman with a K. My man Rock over here is at the Rock Knowledge, right? It's just Rock Knowledge.
Yep.
All right. Of course, our show. Wait, Kev is on the 1s and 2s. Got to give a shout out to our guy Kev for being here, for putting up with me and all of this nonsense of covering a World Series that our team isn't even in, but we're just sickos when it comes to baseball. So it is what it is. But make sure to follow Kevin at KevTomWrites. And again, I'm not telling you how to spell that, so you're going to have to figure it out on your own. Our show is at PHNX_DBacks, but of course, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports. I really miss the Diamondbacks being in this place. We had a lot of fun last year. And again, I've talked about covering this postseason, but this just feels empty and gross, and it doesn't feel the same, Rock.
Yeah, just do what I do. Just go on social media and watch clips of all the highlights of us getting to the World Series. I can watch Alec Thomas hit that home run off of it was Kimbrel, I believe.
Yeah,
and just be happy.
Can we just watch Alec Thomas plant the flag over and over again? That's all I need, is like a 20-second looping video of him planting the flag. Sean's trying to dictate which of our producers like which baseball teams. They're all a bunch of traitors, Sean. I'm going to end the night on that. They're all a bunch of traitors that all throw me under the bus, like as if Kevin doesn't have a Lakers/Dodgers hat hanging on his wall of his office right now. He's an absolute fraud, and I'll make sure that I point it out. I will throw all of these guys under the bus. But anyway, well, we appreciate you guys again so much for joining us. We will see you next week, and until then, we hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when both the Dodgers and the Yankees can lose at the same time.
Come on, Bane.
We all silly like the mayor.